Today we have Nicholas. Nicholas is the CEO and founder of Zyntex AI. He's gonna tell us more about it. Nicholas, like he's trying to help like Airbnb, like I wouldn't say like owners or like more like help them more like with using AI like for assistant and also like help them get more booking and also like manage their properties and more to that like later he will share it. Nicholas like he's also like a resident, I don't know what I said, like a recent graduate, and he just graduated and immediately jump into entrepreneurship, which is like amazing. And you have to kind of everybody have to encourage young founders, and I always like encourage people kind of about like to start companies, and like I think this is a huge opportunity. Nicholas, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
As for a first question, like I always ask people like why entrepreneurship, why you want to like you just graduated, why you want to build a startup, why go through
Sure.
the pain. Like,
Yeah. So I found out very quickly when I went into university that I had a passion for finding gaps in the market. And it originally started with cryptocurrency. So I saw like this decentralized finance, kind of all the possibilities that it had to offer. And, so I quickly dove into that. And I'm like a sponge when it comes to things that I'm very passionate about. So I did a lot of research. I had a lot of experience in the crypto markets as a whole. And when I graduated, I kind of saw the same gap and the same opportunity when it came to AI. So I took a while and I was doing a lot of research, capabilities of AI, different industries that I think could benefit from AI. And I eventually landed on the short-term rental space. So I am the founder of Zyntex AI, as you know. So what we do is we automate the guest messaging for the hosts. So instead of having to answer the repetitive questions that a guest is going to send to you, um, our AI concierge does it.
Awesome. And Nicolas, so when you talked about Zentex, why actually you like, for example, like choose this kind of niche? Like, it's probably like a crowded, competitive niche. What was like? What did you find? Like you said, you did some market research. What did you find that you thought, no, I got to bid on this niche?
Yeah. So initially, I was not going to go into the short-term rental space because there are so many different property management systems, property management apps. And then as I continued to talk to a bunch of hosts, I was doing a lot of independent marketing through LinkedIn, through Instagram, things of that nature. I was meeting with them. Um, they kept coming to me with the same things that they wanted automated, which was the guest host communication. And so I ended up diving deep into all of the different property management systems, and none of them had the autonomous messaging. Everybody had AI prompts, everybody had messages that you configure with AI, but nobody had that 24/7. Like if somebody messages you at 4 a.m., there's no help.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I remember, like, since I think you sent, I think you are based in New York. I stayed also like in New York, like for a couple nights, but also I stayed. I think you studied in Boston. I've been in Boston. I think what's the place like Hyan's. I did like I did a presentation there, but that was when I was a scientist, like 2019, just before COVID. And I remember at that time I rented like Airbnb. At the time, like because in Japan here we don't have really Airbnb. There is like, but like I think the government limited it. They try just like the hotels they have like a lobby or something. But I wasn't much familiar even how to use Airbnb. I remember when I went, I just found like I had a chat with this. Yeah, and it's true. Like I remember like chit chatting with this guy. Like I probably was a Chinese owner or something like. And then I went there. I never met him. Like, and I just like went there. I found like punch a code. He gave me a code. I went in and out. Another time I was like, hey, I didn't even meet this guy.
Yeah.
But like definitely like communication because like I was communicating with him in Japan, like probably he was like in the US. I think if there is different time zones, I don't know, like I could have changed to another province. Can you tell me more about details? Like because for me, if I'm traveling to the US and as I mentioned the same experience I had, like do people lose, for example, customers because of this?
Yeah. So on top of losing customers, the main thing that we try and advertise for is if you have great customer service, people are going to rate you at 5 stars. And when you get rated at 5 stars, the algorithm of Airbnb, it bumps you up. So the better that your communication is, the more seamless that the whole experience feels. the higher they're going to rate you on the star system. And if you continuously get 5-star ratings, it's going to bring you to the top of the Airbnb. So you're going to end up getting more bookings. You're going to have more satisfied customers, and your whole Airbnb short-term rental is just going to run smoother than you can ever imagine.
I agree with this one. The thing is, like for me, like I'm now just another question pop up. I had a bunch
Sure.
of questions, but usually, like when I talk to founders, it's just something come out. Oh, like maybe
Of course.
somebody may say like, because of this, for example, okay, if their ranking like gets better, which is good, but if
Mhm.
everybody using the same AI tool have the same kind of these kind of resources, like does the all like who gonna get more advantage of this? If, for example, like AI kind of make everybody have a good experience, is that the what would make this host better than this host if all of them have the same leverage of AI
Yeah,
or customers?
sure. Yeah, of course. I mean, so speaking with specifically Zintex, I mean, communication is just one aspect of what an Airbnb, what makes an Airbnb more competitive. I mean, you're going to have better cleaners, you can have better amenities, you can have just a better property overall. Um, but again, the use of AI, I feel that it just makes it a lot easier for these regular people who just want to operate their Airbnb. And it gives them more leverage. These big property management companies and big conglomerates that you know have a lot of real estate, because that's a main asset. They leverage AI, and we really wanted to take this to market to allow the common person, the regular Airbnb host, to leverage that same AI.
For like for example, like somebody like me, let's say I'm not in the States, but let's say if I want to, for example, have a lot of properties, because I remember I came across like some videos, some influencers, I think they have like a big following, and I think they manage a lot of properties, and they can try to put themselves as kind of like helping people make more money, like, and managing
Mhm.
more properties. Even some, I think I heard like some people rent it and then use it for Airbnb. I don't know how legal is that. But is your customers like, for example, individual, like who, for example, have just one property because for him maybe it's easy, or he or she has kind of they don't need to pay like extra
Mhm.
subscription, or do you target people who manage a lot of properties at this stage?
Yeah, so we don't specifically target based on like more properties. We can handle up to 75 properties per person. I mean, even more. Um, but so like our target range is and where you really see a big impact with the AI is going to be if you have from 1 to 10 Airbnbs, just because the amount of guest messages that you're going to be receiving, especially if they're booked out every day of the month, that's going to turn a side hustle or a passion project into a second job, which is what a lot of people don't really want.
Um, that's definitely interesting. Like for example, if somebody, for example, like the AI currently like is more like for the hosts, I believe. Like I remember I have a friend of mine. I think he's based in Dubai. I think I mentioned, but he's trying to do also like not just for the hosts, but also like for the guests. It's like, for example, like I'm sure there is, maybe you heard some kind of startups they're trying to like AI agent that book for you. Probably you've
Mhm.
seen this kind of in the news.
Yeah.
You see, like for example, Zentex could be like an agent could do, I don't know, like do this kind of automation or messaging, or including also booking for guests, or you just want to focus on one side at this stage?
Yeah. So I mean, right now we do strictly focus on communication. Inside of the dashboard, we do offer other things because our main goal is to kind of treat it like you're getting a concierge service at a hotel. So we have things to do, we have local resources, we have late night experiences that you want to find, and those are all tied into the properties. But we do eventually want to move on to booking, because I think that autonomy of booking cleaners or handling bookings with guests will just again give these common regular Airbnb hosts the leverage that these big companies are offering.
Oh, that's great. When you mentioned like you offer other services, like if I'm not wrong, like Airbnb, because I follow that founder. What's his name? Like, I mean, he make videos everywhere. The founder of Airbnb. What's his name? I really like. I should have like remembered his name because I like him. I think they had a big update with added more services. Aren't you
Mhm.
afraid, like, if they also like can do something like this, or they are not implementing such kind of system for them, like to hosts at this stage?
Yeah, so I actually did see recently that they came out with an update with like things to do around um like where your property is, which again, that's something that we also have had implemented for the last couple of months. But um I mean, I can see a world where they do implement this 24/7 Airbnb communication, but as of right now, they don't offer it. So, and we're working with some lawyers, everything like that. So we're gonna figure everything out, and um, again, there is always a risk when it comes to that because they're a huge conglomerate, right? They have so much money where they can kind of just have all these developers go through and figure everything out. But um, I still think that Zintex will be able to thrive, especially because we are a smaller company and we are going to have our customer service on point. And we really like to cater to every single host individually and make sure that we're very specific when we do so.
For sure. Like, I just remembered his name. Basically, I shot GPT while you were talking. Brian Chesky. Like, I like this guy. Like, I remember like his story, like the way he started Airbnb. I think he, like, a lot of people like consider him as a lot of founders. They think sort of a source of motivation, and like kind of he gave really good advice, like about entrepreneurship, about the hustle culture. He really built Airbnb like from kind of from nothing, like speaking of like for example Airbnb, like I think a lot of people also I heard online, like the hosts are not happy with with Airbnb, like often, like I think it's not just about the communication. I don't know, is it like about commission, or there's kind of some. I remember like the guy I mentioned about my buddy, this guy, like he's trying to kind of build completely something to compete with Airbnb, which is for me, I feel like it's kind of going to be tough for him because like I don't know, like there was you need a lot of like marketing and like kind of uh, a lot of spend like to go against kind of Airbnb. What other challenges beside the communication you are, for example, like these hosts are telling you like about they have?
Yeah, so I mean, aside from like disruptive guests and things that an AI really can't solve, um, everybody is pretty content. I mean, I have heard that there are people who want to switch over from Airbnb to maybe bookings.com or VRBO or even independently rent their properties out. Which again is why I like to stay away from just being specific Airbnb, and I look at it as a short-term rental concierge. Again, Airbnb is the biggest um, short-term rental app, but there is a whole entire market that is using bookings.com or using VRBO or even using all three just because they want to maximize everything, which with our dashboard it really just boils down from the three to one, which is what I really really like about our system.
Awesome. So if I, let's say I'm a host, like, and what's the process, the current process? I do believe like you still kind of also like trying to improve like Syntax. Like, what's the onboarding process? How you, for example, let's say I want to use Syntax. Can you like walk me through like what you guys doing, and how, for example, like until I'm completely ready to be on autopilot, like this kind of messaging, and can you walk me through that?
Sure. So essentially what happens is if you were a host, you would sign up, and then inside the host dashboard, which you would have access to, you would fill out a 5 to 10 minute questionnaire, which basically allows our AI to start learning about your property. So, um, it's going to take 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to cover amenities. It's going to cover check in, check out, and everything that you can kind of get with that Airbnb. It's going to, restaurants that are close, events that are happening. And once that questionnaire is filled out, again, it takes 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to load into our knowledge hub, and then you're ready to implement that into, turning that into an autopilot.
That's great. I just like remember the question like when I was like preparing, like, um, if for example a guest, angry guest, or somebody like request like weird stuff, I don't know, like in the chat, or like I don't know, some people are like when they are talking to host or to anybody, like they just like can I do this, or can I bring this, or can I like, is there like, for example, a human in the loop system where you have to notify? Because if it's like 24-hour and somebody like, I don't know, ask some weird question, like AI can't say yes or no, or how do you handle that, at least at
Yeah,
this stage?
yeah. So our AI is able to handle 90% of the guest questions. And on that 10% that it's not able to handle, we have a message host directly system. So you can put like extremely urgent, rank it through there, and if our AI is not able to handle it, the host will get a message on their side, and then they can kind of go forth with the problem or the requests how they want.
That's cool. Like, and another question, like this kind of probably like it's still like I'd say like a lot of like AI companies struggle with like, or at least they trying to fix is pricing. I remember like Brett from like OpenAI. I think he's the chair, but like he's the founder of Sierra. I think if I remember the name, like he's a big guy. Like and he was at the time like come up with this concept of like outcome based pricing. How do you guys like currently pricing? Is it just like a monthly, or is it like based? If for example, if I'm a host, like okay, if I use your AI, let's say currently like I get some certain cancellation percentage, or
Mhm.
um, is it outcome based? Is it like monthly subscription? How do you guys like handle currently pricing?
Yeah, so we price on a monthly base. So we charge 49.99 per month for one property, and then as you start to scale up with your properties, it's going to be priced on a sliding scale. So we like to incentivize uh, bigger portfolio managers of these properties to um, join with us, because the more properties you get, the lower price per property it gets, and um, we are trying to now aggressively grow, which is because we cut the prices, because again, we're here to drive value for these common Airbnb hosts, and we found that even a lot of these property management systems are doing the same. Um, but again, I think the price is extremely undervalued for the value that you are getting. I mean, taking away 80 to 90% of the guest questions is going to allow you to either one, chill, all like not really have to handle any questions, or two, it's going to incentivize somebody to scale, because the more time you have, the more things that you have on autopilot, it's going to be able to allow you to grow your portfolio of properties, and let you really focus in on the amenities that your property has, which, as we were talking about before, aside from the communication, is going to bring your listing up to the top of Airbnb.
Um, I think that's really a great point, and also like kind of I feel like you know like you know the challenges for like for Airbnb, for every host, for like you know your market very well, like because for me
Thank
like
you.
honestly I know a lot about AI, but like about the hosting thing, or I did e-commerce, I did a bunch of stuff like kind of but I think like I never talked to any host honestly, like beside I use it for one. Nicholas, like so like before kind of we wrap it up, like what's next for Zentex, or even next for you? I feel like you're young. When I was at your age, I was an idiot. Like I mean, like I had no clue, like even what to do in my career. Even when I was like 29, not even at your age, like I had really no clue, like of even build a startup, honestly. And a lot of time when when I started kind of doing this kind of business thing, like because nobody wanted to hire me, to be honest. But in your case, I feel like you are way ahead, like compared to your age. What's the next for you? What do you see yourself? I don't know, like that kind of boring question when interviewers say like in 5, 10 years. I don't know, like
Yeah. So I do appreciate you the compliment, because I agree. I feel like a lot of people at any age, they lack the ability to gauge the market. I mean,
hmm.
thankfully, I just growing up, I've always kind of tried to look for those gaps, and how to provide value for people. And yeah, so I do really appreciate the compliment. And what's next for me? I would say I'm hoping to scale this company up nice. Um, that's my dream. I work very hard on it, as do every single founder of every single company. Um, and then we do also want to break into other sorts of real estate. I mean, so right now we're strictly with the short term rentals. So I think breaking into mid rentals, longer stays, apartment complexes, hotels, kind of taking the AI concierge, global, and to any kind of real estate, and again providing the autonomous answers for the common people, because our main demographic and the main people that we have using our platform are the regular people who don't have the resources to allocate to answering all these questions and doing everything and paying these big fees. So that is definitely a very big goal of ours.
That's the spirit, man. Like just a personal question. Do you have like people like within your family that are entrepreneurial or something? Because I don't know, like I
Yeah,
didn't
so
have like I didn't have
yeah,
in my family, so maybe I don't know. I just want to see where do you got the energy and this
yeah.
mentality.
Yes. So my dad is a entrepreneur. He came to this country when he was 9, and I think when you immigrate from a different country, that it kind of just bursts a spirit into you where you just keep trying to excel past your certain point, and I think that's a majority of where I got it from. I mean, aside from being a Division 1 athlete, when I was training, I was
Wow.
just trying to beat myself. I mean, I was ranked 8th in the world for 20 and under for the hammer throw. So every day I was kind of, just looking at myself in the mirror, trying to beat myself yesterday. And I do apply that to this. I try and get every single one of my tasks done more efficiently, quicker, better. And yeah, so that is kind of how everything boiled down to where I am now.
Awesome, awesome. Like just one more last question, and like are you fundraising or what's because you mentioned scaling, like but as a founder, like we all like try to fundraise, we're all trying to get
Yeah.
to YC, like what
Uh-huh.
are you like at this stage, what are you like beside building?
Yeah, I mean, so currently I am not fundraising. Maybe as I really start to scale up, fundraising will be something I'm looking into. But as of right now, it's me, it's a couple of other developers, and I feel like we're really making good headway. And I look at it like I've been at it for I've been within the Airbnb space for about a year now. So, and I've made a lot of progress with my knowledge, with my abilities, and I do think that that's going to continue to increase. So, as of right now, no, we are not looking for fundraising, but in the future, I think that's definitely going to be a possibility.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I think just like for a fire shot, like, and then we can close like two questions,
Sure.
like what's your favorite AI you're using every day, like
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is going to be a bit boring, but I truly love ChatGPT. I mean, even outside of I can brainstorm. I could get inside the heads of my market. I could and I really do um, like to use the capabilities that ChatGPT has. So even like if I need, like, for example, like let's say I want to send cold emails, so I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, give me a action steps on how I can start to go through and send these cold emails, and it really keeps me organized. It gives me these steps that keep me just going, and I really do like to utilize ChatGPT.
Awesome. Next question, like this is kind of like just like I should ask myself this one. What do you hate about AI? Because like hey, AI, like a lot of hype, a lot of noise, and you are a young entrepreneur, like kind of like what's called like the shiny object syndrome, more higher compared to me, like
Yep.
where you can just like you just scroll like social media more than kind of older people, like older generation. So you scroll about something, somebody like start you with a hook and tell you like, oh, you can make $10,000, $20,000 with
Yeah.
AI, like, and
Uh,
the nerves, you end up like start already like buying a new domain or something. Like, what do you hate
yep.
about AI and this kind of noise and hype? Like,
Yeah. So I mean, even all that hype, I think it's overall fine for AI, right? Because it gets the word out. I mean, again, there's people who are glorifying it, acting like it's going to do everything for you. Which, I mean, once you have it all set up, it's going to be autonomous. But like at the same time, it's going to take months of that continued action. But one thing that really I find crazy in the AI space is the stigma that it has around it, especially with older people. I mean, they're like, AI is going to take over, AI is going to replace everything. I mean, you know, I think that if you use it as a tool instead of letting it kind of overriding your whole entire life, that you're going to be able to really use it and be successful by it. Again, Zintex is we're just making a repetitive, annoying task a little less annoying and a little less repetitive. And that's how I like to simply break it down, because I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, you guys are dumb for using AI and it's going to take over everything. And, I do really disagree with that. And I think, I know you said it, if you learn from it and you use it positively, like, I think it's only going to provide benefits.
Awesome, awesome. Nicholas, thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate it. Like so, guys, like if you are a host or if you are in the Airbnb space or any kind of industry related to it, like, or if you wanna like check out more Zentex what they are doing, and Nicholas, he's a great guy, and I do believe like they have really like bright future, whether with Zentex or like even completely, I wouldn't say build Airbnb, but Brian is like ruthless, like you have to compete with him. But Nicholas, thank you so much for your time, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.